Now we're done with passing data from parent component to child component. It's time to talk about the other direction. That is passing data from child component to parent component. In Vue, child component passes messages or data to parent component through events. The child component can emit an event on itself by calling the built-in $emit method, passing the name of the event to the parent. The parent component then listens to this event and will process this event accordingly. We also can attach some value to this event and also pass to the parent. Next, let's go to VS Code. Let me show you a demo. Now I'm under 09 child component passes data to parent.html. I simplify this example by removing one component. So we no longer have blog post, we only have one component right under the Vue instance. In blog category, we use v-4 to iterate all the posts and print each post title and content. So it has the same effect as demo 8, but it's just simpler. We only have one component. Next, let me show you how to pass data from child to parent component. Many students will ask, why do we need to send data from child to parent component? What is the use case? So let me show you an example. Let's say our dear client has one more feature request. And the client says, you did a good job of listing all the blog posts in here. Now, I really want you to have a delete button on the right of each post. So the user can click this button and delete a post. Because for now, we only have title and content of this post. I want a button. Now that's easy. So we can modify the template of blog category component. So we're adding a delete button. And here I'm using delete. Then I'm going to right click and show you in browser. As you can see, we have a button after each post. If I click here, nothing happened because we haven't bind any function to it. So in this case, we really want the child component to tell the parent which button gets clicked, because here we're using v-4, we're going to have 4 posts. If I click the first delete button, now I want to pass ID 1 back to the parent. So we're going to delete this post in the parent because the parent has the final version of the posts. When we want to delete a post, we do not delete in the component. We delete it where the data comes from, which is parent. If you remember here, the parent pass posts to blog category. Now, if we're making any modification to the post, we should let the parent know and make the modification in the parent component, not in the child component. This is a very common beginner's error, is they modify the posts inside this child, not in the parent. We should really do the modification in the parent. How can we let the child inform the parent? So which button gets clicked? By using event. Okay, so what happened here is we're going to bind a onClick event. So in Vue, we're using @click. Once this button gets clicked, we're going to use the built-in function called emit. Now that function receives 2 arguments. The first one is the name of this event. Now it can be anything, but to make it more self-explanatory, I'm going to call it delete blog post. So this is the name of this event that this button is going to emit to the parent. The second one is the argument we want to attach to this event. For example, here, I really want to pass the post.id. So if it's the first button gets clicked, post ID is equal to 1. If it's the last one gets clicked, post.id is 4. We're emitting this event and we're attaching this value to this event. That's the part of the child component. Then what happened to the parent component? How does the parent component know this delete blog post event? So in here, we're using this to pass the data from parent to child, right? Then next, we're going to listen to this event in the parent. We're going to use @ and I'm going to copy and paste. This is the event name. And then it's equal to a function. For example, we're going to call it process delete. And also we're going to pass something called $event. Let me format it. The parent component is listening to this event called delete blog post. Now, once we get it, we're going to call this function process delete, and we're passing $event to this function. All right. Then we're going to define this function. Copy and scroll all the way down. Let me collapse this. After data, let's define the method. Methods. And the name of the method is called process delete function. And this function is receiving event. Okay, so what we're going to do here is in this method, we're going to iterate through these posts and find a post with a matching ID and then delete that post. Okay, and here I'm going to use some ES6 syntax. Let index equal to this dot posts dot find index. So here I'm going to pass a function to it. Item. Here we're going to return item dot id equal $event. If you still remember that this $event has the ID of the post that being clicked. So if we find this item with ID equal to the argument, then this is the item we want. So when we return, actually we're returning the index of this post. So this is the index. So once we find this index, then we can delete this one from the posts. And here is the function we use. This dot posts. This is the array dot splice. First, I'm going to pass the index. The first argument is the index of the post I want to delete. And then the second argument is how many such posts I want to delete. In this case, only one. Okay, that's it. Now this time, I'm going back to Chrome and refresh. Now I'm going to delete the first one. If I click, it's gone. If I click, click. Now I delete all the posts in the parent component. Next, I'm going to press F12 and verify this. So go into console. And here is vm.posts. As you can see now, this is 0. We don't have any posts.